I am more inclined to attack a problem than to resolve a problem. That has permeated every part of how I encounter the world. And in some ways, it's a good thing because people don't feel like I'm dragging my feet, right? It gives the perception that I actually care about the problem, which I do. And it gives the perception I can actually resolve it. Hello, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays. The last few days have been pretty quiet, so I got some time to reflect on 2025. I have found a very interesting part of my personality, which is I am more inclined to attack a problem than to resolve a problem. For example, a problem arises at work or in personal life. I am inclined to find the root cause and attack that problem relentlessly, sometimes at the cost of pissing people off. And that is for the fairness of the company, for the fairness of the customers, or the fairness of principles. Whereas I have found a better way, but not my way, of solving problems is to let it resolve, let it die down, and then let it disappear. The former way is playing offense. Now, the former way of attacking the problem has a few advantages. It usually finds the root cause. It cuts off all the origin of the problem. The con of that is it makes people uncomfortable. And it also comes across as rude at the cost of disregard for the human relationships and dynamics. The other symptom of attacking the problem is I think relentlessly about a problem until I basically beat the dead horse to some degree. It also has the biggest con, which has the most mental burden to my psychology. I obsess over it. I attack it from every angle. I want to get rid of not just the symptoms, but also the root cause. What that does is that I spend way too much energy for what that problem is worth. The good news is that usually that means that problem doesn't happen again, and usually also means that I cut off the root cause. Now, on the other hand, the way of resolving it, which is a lot of politicians are good at, they just let it come to them. They let it sit. They let it simmer. And sometimes the problem just goes away. And sometimes also that they let people around them kind of resolve it on their own. It's almost like using yin to attack yang. And I'm like using yang and attacking yang. They're using yin and resolving yang, which is a lot more culture, a lot more gentle, and a lot more sophisticated way of resolving a problem. But what I have learned is I'm not that person. In my entire life, I realize I'm more interested in attacking something with force as opposed to letting things go. Is that a good trait? I think it has benefits and cons. The point here is I'm aware of it. I think as I grow older, I'm pretty old actually, I should learn how to do this right-hand side thing. The left-hand side should be my younger years, and my right-hand side, the resolving it gently, should be something I should do for my latter years. So that's something I have learned. As you look at my previous videos, you can see this year I've been learning 八字. And in 八字, there's a interest. I came up with this funny phrase that in Chinese, I said, 我是一个快乐的时辰 但命中注定我要去自杀. Translated into English, I created this phrase because it's kind of funny. Translated into English is I'm naturally born a happy eating god. That is to mean someone that is just a specific terminology in the 八字, which is I'm naturally happy, but the fate has it that in my chart, I am supposed to conquer the difficulties, and which makes me quote unquote less happy or unhappy. And that is pretty evident in my life where if you take away work, I'm super, super chill. I could care less anything about the world. I'm very easygoing, gentle, and I don't care. But then as soon as a problem arises, myself has changed and I'm all in on the problem. One of my good friends was working with me one day, and they used to be, part of the company, and they say, hey, people, you're totally different at work than in personal life. And people at work have one impression of you, which is completely different from my impression of you in life. then the question is like, which side is the real me? I think my understanding now is I possess both. I'm definitely not like easygoing by the intrinsic nature, but I also have I believe, a kind side that is not naturally expressed. I believe I have a deep-rooted kindness, but it shows up as me attacking the problem. And that's actually very quintessential to this eating God, which is supposed to be a happy thing. They're supposed to be 4 auspicious gods and then 4 kind of inauspicious, ominous gods. And so the eating God is a very, very happy God. But when it runs into difficulties, it turns into a warrior. It turns into someone with a spear, almost like they're cooking. It's an eating God, right? They're cooking. And then when they run into a difficulty, they're like, hey, this is my sword. It becomes a general. I'm mixing like Chinese metaphysics with manifestations in the real world. Again, this is all for, laughs and giggles. But the reason I like these things is that it's a very cool abstraction of the dynamics of life. So the conclusion, what I learned this year is I am more inclined to attack a problem than to resolve a problem. That has permeated every part of how I encounter the world. And in some ways, it's a good thing because people don't feel like I'm dragging my feet, right? It gives the perception that I actually care about the problem, which I do. It gives the perception I can actually resolve it. Whereas the people, they're just like taking their time, respect to them that they eventually solve it and solve it very elegantly. Some part of me may think that they never try to resolve it and just resolve on its own. And so the intention was not clear. But I feel like that's probably more superior than the one that's attacking. But the fate has it that I am the attacking type, so I should accept that. So that's the second part, which is accepting what you're good at and what you're not good at. Anyway, so that's what I learned over the break. This is a way that I have some time over the holidays that it is important for me to keep kind of like this YouTube videos going so that I don't lose momentum. And whenever I don't do YouTube video for some time, I feel like it becomes something I'm not looking forward to. It feels like a chore. But I feel like if I do it every week or every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks and build that consistency, it becomes an outlet for the things in my mind. And there are certain things I say in the video that I never really actually thought about. And then now that I verbalize it, I have some new ideas. So thank you so much for watching. And these are videos that I hope that in the future, I can be someone that's looking back on these videos and say, oh, that's how I was thinking back then. Thank you. Bye-bye.